Hey loves and welcome back to my channel. My name is Okongene. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you on how to cut a princess dart bustier with a keyhole neckline. So if it's something that you're interested in, please keep watching and don't miss any parts. Don't forward any parts. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share. If today is the first time you're coming across to my channel, I'm officially welcoming you to my channel. And subscribe to my channel. I share sewing tutorials, I share sewing hacks and lifestyle video. Let's start the tutorial. First of all, you can see I've actually drafted the starting line. So this is the starting line. I do that for all tutorials so that we don't have issues when measuring it for it to be equal. So this is our starting line. And from this point, we'll draft. From this point, we'll take the drafting. So next, first thing we're doing is we'll take the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 7.5 here. We'll take the shoulder measurement here. And then we'll go ahead to start taking our measurements, which is shoulder to nipple. So we'll do it here. Shoulder to nipple is 11. Shoulder to nipple. We'll go ahead to do shoulder to under bust. Shoulder to the waist measurement. Now, I will roll everything out. So why I did all this measurement is for those that are beginners and they're transitioning into the intermediate level, because this princess dart bustier is actually the intermediate level tutorial. So I'll go ahead to use my marker to make this line visible so you can see. So you can see the lines here. So we're going ahead to do the armhole. So for the armhole, at this, we'll come down, we'll do the neckline. So let's do the neckline. We want the neckline here to be 3.5. We'll go ahead to mark 3.5, and we want here to be 3 inches. We'll go ahead to mark. So we'll take from here to here 1 inch for slope. We're taking the armhole depth. Now we'll go ahead to staple this 7.5 we took at the shoulder measurement. We'll go ahead to insert it down here to get an accurate measurement. So after inserting it down here, you would connect the line like so. The next thing you will do is to get the midpoint from here to here. So if you are intermediate level, you're already familiar with this. You go in and then you want to connect. So the next measurement you want to start inserting is at your underbust. So this is the UB, this is the underbust. At your underbust, you will do nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4.5. You go ahead to take it down. I hope you understand, to the length down. You go ahead to take the 4.5 down, and then you rule a straight line from here to the underbust. So I'm going ahead to do the line here. So at this point, this underbust will go in by 1 inch, out by 1.5. We'll rule that one straight, we'll rule this one straight. So we'll go in 1 inch, out 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch, 1 inch. So for this point, you will still go ahead to make your 4.5 inch, and then you go ahead to connect it like so. I didn't connect this point to this point. You could see I just connected it like so. So from this point, you will come down by 1 inch. You come down either by 1 inch or 1.25 inch so that you don't create a sharp cut here, so that your bust can actually sit. So you see, I've gone ahead to do this. So from this point, you just connect with a straight rule like this. You connect with a straight rule like this. But for this point, because for this point, you won't connect with a straight rule, you connect with this curved side. So you see that it's looking differently. You connect here with this curved side. So you come to this midpoint that you have. You come to this midpoint that you have. You take ½ inch here and ½ inch at the side. You go ahead, ½ inch here. You go ahead and connect ½ inch here. So for this point, you will go up by 1 inch. Don't worry. You go up by 1 inch and you will connect this point to this point, this point to this point. So first of all, you go ahead to connect to this point from this point like so, to form like your normal basic princess. That the next thing you will do is from this point, you will do the same thing for here. You go ahead for this point too. This point, you do the same thing. Right? Now we want to make here and blend here to this point. So we'll go ahead. You see, I'm just using my free hand. I am blending it to meet this point. I will do the same thing here. I'm blending this point because I don't want it to be sharp. So I'll do the same point to also blend here out. Now for the keyhole measurement, I'll come down here by 2.5 inches. I'll come down here by 2.5 inches, and I'll come in because it's a princess that, depending, you might want to make it here, but I want to come to this point. I'll come in here by either 2.5 or 3 inches, and then I'm connecting here to meet this point. You see, to meet this point. Either ways, we need to cut here out. So because we need to cut here out, that means we need to form here as a sweetheart. If you want to leave your straight, no problem. That means you just draw from this point, you draw it straight out. But because I want it to be slightly curved, I'll go ahead to blend this down. See what I'm doing? I went ahead to blend this to this point down. We'll go ahead to start taking our measurements. So for the bust, we'll do 10. Let's do 10.5. We'll do 10.5. We'll take 2 inches. For this point, we'll go out and do 8. So this is 8 for the under bust. And this is 1.2. 1.5 plus 1, that is 2.5. We'll take it, you're replacing it, and your 2 inches. The waist part is 8.5. No, sorry, the waist part is 9 inches. You mark 9. You do the 2.5 here, 2.5, and then you do the 2 inches here. The hip is 12, 2.5, and the 2 inch allowance. So now you want to connect the lines. So in connecting the lines, you won't just go ahead to just connect to this point. You connect them little by little. So from this point to this point is one. From here to here is another one. From here to here is another one. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So you will not just connect here. So you curve here. You are trying to blend it. You blend here too. After sewing it, they will actually blend together. So because when we are sewing this, we normally do have shortage at the armhole. So we'll go out from this point. So we'll go out by 1.5 inch. So we'll go ahead to blend. We'll go ahead to blend this. This will now be our new armhole. Don't worry. When there's an excess, you can always cut it. So it's better, like my tutor will always say then, so it's better that there's an excess than if there is no excess. How are you planning on doing it? So this will be our new armhole line, and this will now be the old armhole line, right? So we'll just extend this out. Extend this out. Now this is going to be like the keyhole. This will be the keyhole neckline. This will be the keyhole neckline for the yoke, and this will be the part for the princess dart. So after joining it, now let's assume you want to close it here. Assume you want to cut. Let's do it like this so that you understand. So we'll go ahead. Let me go ahead to cut the bustier first before we cut the keyhole neckline. So to cut, let's cut the. I want this point to be curving. I don't want it to be straight. I want it to be curving. So what I will do is I'll come up by 2 inch and I'll mark. You see that? We're cutting this part. We're cutting this part out. So let's go ahead to cut it out. The basic, this is just the princess dart bustier. This is what the princess dart bustier should look like. So let's go ahead to now, where you want to close it, we now want to create the keyhole neckline. You want to now create the keyhole neckline. So for example, you want to make yours a net neckline. So the net neckline, you cannot have this princess dart on it, right? You cannot have the princess dart on it. You have to just close. So use your paper tape. You use this tape. You use this tape. You see what I'm doing? You use this tape. You see I've made here equal. I'll make sure as I'm making here 2 is equal. So here 2 is equal. Right? So you go ahead to close this point together, and then you measure and create a new armhole measurement. You get. So I just figured out that this part when I was closing, after cutting it out, was not showing. I just figured it out. So I've gone ahead to like close the lines together to make it one. So I make it equal. And then I went ahead to measure from this down part here. I went ahead to measure 7.5 inch, which is the shoulder line. And then I marked. And I drew a straight line from that point to this point here. So then we'll go ahead to measure the armhole measurement. So the armhole measurement is here, right? So that means we're just covering it to meet this point here. So what we'll do now is we have gone to divide this point and we got the midpoint, and then we went in by the 1/2 inch. So now we want to curve it to form a new armhole line. So from here, you go ahead. So let me use the marker so that we can understand. So this is the new armhole line. I hope you understand. So this is the new armhole line. So you see the excess that we have, we're going to trim it off. Now if you wanted to make your princess dart without this yoke off. After joining it, this is what you're still going to do. You're still going to go ahead and measure it like this to cut the excess out. So we want to make this keyhole out. We want to create this keyhole. That's why I'm closing this part out to create this keyhole. So to create this keyhole, I've gone ahead. Remember, we have measured the distance we wanted, so we'll cut it now. Now is the time to cut out, since it's not one piece. So now you see the keyhole is now 1 point. I'm going ahead to do the back. So we now have this as one part. So we don't need to do a dart fold. Since if you're using a net, you don't need this dart. That's why I went ahead to close it and draft and did this part. So you can actually do it in a straight dart bustier. If it's something that you want me to straight dart bustier, you can leave a comment below and say you want the straight dart bustier. So at the end, we'll be having this, right? This is what it's going to look like. So there is an opening here, a wide opening here for those who want. You get, so there's an opening here. And when you're sewing, please, when you're sewing, make sure that you add allowance at this down part. Allowance here, allowance here, allowance here, allowance here. Irrespective of this draft that you have done, allowance for the joining, so that you don't have shortage at this point. Now, because of you have cut some parts out, this your nipple to nipple measurement might not be, what will I say, it might not be on the same spot if you don't add allowance. So as you're adding allowance up, you're adding allowance down so that it can be on the same spot, this shoulder to nipple measurement. This is the end of this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and give it a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Bye until next tutorial.